Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Chancellor, internationally and nationally signed model. I worked in markets such as Chicago, New York City, Miami, Seattle, and internationally in South Africa. And today I want to talk to aspiring models, see if I can't help give them tips and tricks on how to get into the industry. Because contrary to what people think, there's a huge market for modeling. It's not just high fashion. So today I want to bring you the several different divisions of modeling and see where you may fit. So stay tuned. If you're new to my channel and you like the content that I'm sharing with you today, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, or even share this information as it may help somebody else. And I'll be dropping new videos and content each week so I can give you guys all the game and so that you can move forward on the right foot. Now, the first division we'll talk about today is obviously high fashion modeling. These are the people who people think of when they think of models. These are the people who they see on the runways and on magazines and editorials and things like that, which I'll break down shortly, because there are two different divisions within high fashion modeling. That's runway and then that's editorial. Now, high fashion models, they're high fashion because they're very specific. The height requirements are from 5'9" all the way up to 6 feet tall. Obviously, long legs, lean torso, high cheekbones, very chiseled and defined features. Things also, facial features that fashion agencies tend to go for are eyebrows, thicker eyebrows that draws attention to your eyes, and things of that nature. Now, when you think of the high fashion models, we think of Naomi Campbell, Giselle Bundchen, and these women became high fashion models because those are the most lucrative paying jobs. These are the models that book, not only in addition to runway, they're also booking Gucci campaigns, and Yves Saint pay a lot of money to have these models represent them. And sometimes they're contracted to work with these clients for a number of years. So that is just one division. Now, for the males, the height requirements are from 5'11" to 6'3", and again, male models, they need to again have those nice chiseled abs, nice long lean torso, long limbs and things like that, because they're basically walking hangers. When you think of high fashion models, they are just walking hangers on the runway. But then on the editorial side too, again, those defined features, they photograph really well in magazines. So those are the high fashion requirements for male and female. Runway, obviously runway is when there's the fashion shows. You see on that Milan Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. These are people who are like ripping the runway, and they're fierce with it. Now with runway, this can be a lucrative way to get into the industry, or a lucrative career path if you fit those specific height requirements. Now with that, I'll talk with you a little bit later about which sorts of agencies are considered high fashion and which ones to apply to or which ones to submit to, because not all agencies obviously cater to high fashion models. There's again a diverse array throughout modeling. Now the editorial, these are the people who are always in the magazines and things like that, which they can also be high fashion. Now both editorial and runway models, they can kind of intertwine in some sort of way. So a lot of times you'll see both men and women in certain fashion magazines, and then you'll see them on certain runways walking for specific designers. So those are just the high fashion models. Now, the high fashion models, they are the ones that could become supermodels potentially, like a Tyra Banks, like a Naomi Campbell, like a Jordan Smalls, these sorts of women, or like a Sean Pry, or to a lesser degree, Tyson Beckford. But these are people who have had a longevity in a career as runway models, and then they crossed over to commercial and other sectors into the industry as well, which I'll get into. Let's talk about commercial models, because this is also a lucrative career that a lot of these models that I mentioned earlier, they carved out. Now, there's high-end commercial. When you think of commercial modeling, you think of the everyday person. They're attractive. Again, they fit those height requirements, but not always specifically. See, high fashion is very specific. There's certain measurements that women must women must have to be able to fit into the clothes, and the same thing for the guys. Now with commercial modeling, you're just selling a product or a service, so they pretty much want you to be a bit more, still be fashion, still bring it as a model, but then they want you to be more relatable, because the average everyday person will want to be able to relate to that ad that they're looking at. So that requires like a lot of smiling, a lot of interaction, and their age requirements, you can get in as early as like a teenager, 13 years and up, and then you can that career in commercial modeling can span all the way up into your 60s or 70s. Also, the cool thing about commercial modeling is it's easier to get representation in different markets. See, in high fashion, they're relegated to 5 places really around the world. There's Paris, there's London, there's New York, there's LA, and there's Miami. Those are the big 5 for high-end modeling agencies. But with good commercial agencies, they're all around the U.S. And then the agency that I'm with in South Africa, they do a little bit of both, right? They do high fashion, but then I also book good commercial work out there as well. So commercial, again, if you're looking for longevity and there's certain requirements that you don't fit to be the high fashion model, maybe look into commercial agencies to see if that will be. Talk a little bit about fashion and commercial modeling. Now we'll talk a little bit about fitness modeling. Now fitness modeling, those are like those ripped people that we see on the GNC ads. Obviously for that, there's no real height requirement, but obviously you need to have deeply defined muscle tone, abs, things like that, legs. Everything needs to be really defined, and you still need to have a certain athletic and be universally good looking to be. You also have the swimsuit models. Now the swimsuit models, they tend to be a little bit curvier. Those are more of the petite, shorter women, but maybe have a bigger bust than a high fashion or commercial model. They're like the Jessica Whites, the different sort of women that you see in Sports Illustrated, those kind of women. It can be a very lucrative career as well. And there are certain agencies that do represent shorter, more petite women who do have a certain look and a certain aesthetic to be able to sell sex. Okay, so let's talk about lifestyle modeling next. So these are the sorts of models that you see in Nike ads and things like that. They also have a very athletic look and build to them, and they're still universally good looking, but maybe they're not as tall to be in high fashion, but then they still good looking enough to do lots of commercial work. So when I think of lifestyle brands or lifestyle models that represent lifestyle brands, I think of camping products or sportswear products, things of this nature, and even to a lesser degree, I don't know, lifestyle products as far as medicines and things like this, like Zyrtec and all these sorts of pharmaceutical companies. So a lot of the commercials that you see, those are lifestyle models representing those brands. And there's also catalog modeling. Now catalog modeling is not as fun as some of the other ones, just because when you're brought in to do work for a catalog product, it's a long day, but you're not really showing a lot of diversity in what you can do as a model, because on those shoots it's really not about the model, it's about the clothes that the model is wearing. So and sometimes the clothes could not fit you the right way and things like that, but that's not for you to concern yourself with, because you're simply there to have the clothes worn, and lots of times these will be on websites and things like that. So they really just want to show off the clothes, and lots of times they cut out the model's face. So long days, and it's not as lucrative as the other work as the other sectors of modeling, but it's still a good experience in front of them. And another sector of modeling that's recently become very popular is plus size modeling. Now this covets commercial and lifestyle, where the women they tend to be a fuller figure, but they still have great skin, a great look, a great energy about them that makes them relatable, and clients are signing them left and right, booking them work. And there are lots of different plus size modeling agencies that are popping up within the industry within the past few years. I know a good friend of mine, she's represented by Dorothy Combs up in New York City, and she's doing really well. She walked in New York Fashion Week before the pandemic. I think it was the Fashion Week of 2019. Plus size modeling, that's catered more so towards women of plus size. Now there are a few men, I guess, agencies that do represent big and tall men, but plus size is starting to be dominated by women. You see a lot of the ads like Lane Bryant and ads and things like that. But contrary to what people believe, they still have to maintain like a healthy body. They can't just eat whatever. Trust me, they still go work out. They still are very health conscious, and they're happy and beautiful women. Now, another part of modeling is called fit modeling. It's a lot different from fitness modeling. Now, fit modeling is a lot similar to catalog modeling. So that's where you go into a client and you're basically just a live mannequin. They try clothes on you. They're designing the clothes while you're there, and then they're really just fitting you into the clothes. That's why it's called fit modeling. This is very consistent work. If you have a client, or well, in my case, I worked with Parsons, the Parsons Fashion School, the Parsons Fashion Institute in New York City for about a year or two when I lived in New York. It was great work. The good thing about that was you also do get to build relationships with a lot of opportunities to work with other people within the industry, makeup artists, creative directors, people who are really entrenched and who do have lots of other networks of people that they work with. Now, again, the next one we haven't covered is parts modeling. Now, parts modeling is really niche specific, and they really don't. It's a lot different than the other divisions of modeling, just because they focus specifically on one specific body part. So if you happen to be a person who has perfect legs, you could get signed to an agency for that. If you have perfect teeth or perfect hands, perfect feet, things like that. It's not about the model's face or body so much as it is about that one specific body part, which is why they call it parts modeling. And it can also be pretty lucrative if you have the right representation and the right clientele consistently. And last but not least, there's mature modeling. There's people who, again, commercial models, they're able to work for a long period of time because a lot of products that we buy, they're household products or things that we use on an everyday basis. So mature models, they can go and model up until their 60s and 70s if they still keep a certain liveliness about them and a certain aesthetic. Now, mature models, they tend to be 40 years and up. And again, you see a lot of women and men, in fitness magazines and commercials and things like that. So that's also another part of modeling. Okay, guys, so I know that was a lot. But the question you need to ask yourself is, out of all the divisions that we talked about, where do you think that you fit? Do you feel like you are more of a high fashion model? Do you think you would be a fit model? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And if you found value in this video, if you like my shirt, if you like my voice, hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.